Hey YouTube, as you can see, I have given in and gotten myself a trailer. Instead of dual sporting it out to the off-riding area, I'm going to start trailering it. And so far, I'd have to say I like the idea of trailering. This particular morning, when I hopped in the car to come out here, it was a whopping 34 degrees. And in the past, I've come out, I don't mind really riding when in the cold. But the problem is you've got an hour ride out to the off-road area here, and so you need to put a lot of gear on to stay warm, and then you get out here and you start riding and you get all sweaty and you're just taking things off, and it's hard to carry all that on the bike. So pretty nice to just hop in the SUV, drive out here, not have to ride with a bunch of gear. So anyhow, in this video I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm not going to edit the video. I'm just going to show you kind of where I like to ride up here. And I'm in Oregon, in the Upper Nestucca OHV area. And I'm heading up to what is my favorite trail in the area up here. It's trail number 88 called Huey's Loop. And I'm kind of looking for it right here. And I know it's up here, and here it is. And I'd ridden it one more time earlier in the day, so this wasn't my first time of the day. In fact, I've been riding for about 2 hours coming up here. And this is kind of steep right here. It's not super steep, but it's fairly steep. Not super difficult. This trail is actually rated as most difficult, but it's more like just an intermediate trail. I think one of the problems up here in the Nestucca is I think they have things mislabeled a little bit. Some things that are easy are fairly difficult. But this part of the trail right here is actually my favorite part. It's just kind of these flowing turns with berms on them, and you can kind of go through here. And if you watch some of my other videos, you can see I've picked up the pace a little bit. And this is actually the first time that I've been up this year. This is January, and I hadn't ridden off-road since, I think it was before Thanksgiving. So it's been a while since I've been up here. And I'm actually pretty happy with myself on this ride. I felt quite a bit faster than I've been in the past. I'm still a slow rider, kind of new to this. I just started a little over 6 months ago, or about 6 months ago. But I'm, starting to enjoy it a little bit. So this here, it gets very steep right here. It doesn't look so steep on the GoPro, but this is pretty steep. And when I first started, I would have been going super slow coming down here, but you can see I'm doing all right here. And I'm scooting along. What I found is if I use a lot of front brake and a little bit of back brake, it really helps a lot on the downhill. Another thing that I'm practicing this day is sitting down. You can see there I just sat down. I tend to stand up a lot while I just about fell off the bike there. I tend to stand up a lot while I'm riding, which makes it a lot easier. And so I've been trying to learn to sit a little bit more. As you kind of see fast guys, put their foot out and sitting up near the front of the bike to get weight on their front as they come through these turns. And starting to figure that out a little bit, and feel a little bit more comfortable with this. You can see in here, the last time I was here, this was kind of muddy, and we haven't had rain. It's been a very dry winter for us in Oregon, and so things are pretty dry. So you kind of come out to the bottom here, and that's the end of the trail, and it continues, but it's just not as much fun. So I thought, that was a blast, so I'm going to spin around and go back up the trail again. And another thing that I'm practicing on this day is turning the bars with my hands. Street riding you tend to turn with just leaning, or you counter steer. But dirt riding, quite often you kind of, like right there, just turn it, give it a kind of a turn like you're riding a bicycle or something. And I've gotten a lot better at that, which helps a lot, to kind of miss, little rocks that are in the road or in the path, there we go again. I'm scooting along. I'm feeling a little bit braver than I think I normally do. So we're coming up on the part where it's steep here, and one of the good things about it doesn't show on the GoPro, but this is pretty steep. To make it up, you got to give it some gas, or you're just not going to make it to the top. Like you can see right here, I kind of lose some of my momentum as I come over those bumps up there. Here it levels off a little bit. Doesn't show, but it's not quite as steep. But Anyway, I think I do a little better going up than down because it forces me to carry some speed, and that speed causes you not get quite so upset, you know, getting little bumps and stuff. So probably if I would speed it up a little bit more, you know, maybe I'd be a little smoother through here. You can see I'm just not as smooth as you know, maybe I'd like to be, but you can see this is fun. I just love this trail. I don't know why it's rated the way it is, but it's just a lot of fun. And so here we are coming up near the top of this trail, number 88. So there's the top of the trail. So here I'm turning on to what would be considered a simple trail. So we went from most difficult to simple, and honestly I don't think there's a whole lot of difference between the two. So anyway, while I'm on single track, I found if I just leave it in second gear and feather the clutch a lot when I get going slower, then it's a lot easier. I find if I'm shifting down into first gear, the bike just has a little bit too much, you know, instant power as you get on the gas, and I'm just not smooth. And I feel like I'm a lot faster if I just leave it in second gear. And honestly, in single track, I don't seem to ever need to shift into third gear. I'm just not fast enough yet. So, but anyway, down here, last time I was up here, it was so muddy I actually ended up turning around and going back. And you can see it's still a little damp, but this day I actually didn't ride through any mud at all the whole time up here. So here's the end, and at least of that loop. And so then we're back out onto the trails. Kind of thinking of making that turn there, but changed our mind and decided to head back. So back at the staging area here after about a 2-hour dirt ride. So I'm pretty hot and sweaty at this point, but feeling pretty good because I feel like I've sped up a lot since I started riding. I mean, I'm still considered a slow rider, but at least I'm no longer super slow. So, and I'm happy about the trailer. I mean, I'm all sweaty here, and instead of riding home and being cold, I'm going to actually sit in the car and enjoy myself and relax a little bit. So, thanks for watching.